Alright, y'all, man, tonight we're gonna be reacting to TikTok's weird teacher problem. I thought this shit looked interesting, so let's go ahead and check it out.
Picture a teacher you grew up with in the past. If it's a man, you probably picture some middle-aged guy with a family and a sort of receding hairline whose classroom was perfect for catching up on the sleep you missed. Except if it was a history teacher, they always be the most go-to ones. Those always be the best teachers who give you like one assignment a year and be chopping up with the class. If it was a woman, you probably picture some middle-aged woman or older woman who hated her job and could barely show she even liked working with kids. This is what I would say most of Gen Z and millennials picture when they look back on their stereotypical teachers. But now, what if I told you it's a complete different ballgame? What if I told you future generations of kids will be taught with teachers like this?
Oh, hell no.
By the way, in that first video, the lady's caption for the video is, "And you can't make this up." Y'all, substitute teachers wasn't as cute as me back in the day. Yeah, maybe because they weren't trying to look good for me as the minor in the classroom. Yo, principal, this one here. Yeah, so recently there's been a huge controversy brewing between people online and what's acceptable for a teacher to wear or not. And this all starts with the rise of TikTok and teachers doing content on there. Before on TikTok, the most type of content you would see from teachers was YouTube tutorials teaching you something. And yes, kids, we actually had to learn things before ChatGPT. The horrors, I know. Shout out Khan Academy getting me through school and without you, I would still fail, but I would have failed worse if I wasn't sitting there for hours watching his tutorials. For the most part on TikTok, teaching content was wholesome and wasn't really anything to worry about. It was a lot of teachers talking with students, having funny conversations about things, or showing off things they do with their class, like having cool handshakes and posting. Some people may say they shouldn't even be posting videos with their class, but as long as the parents and kids are fine with it, I don't really care. I know if I was younger now, I'd probably find class more fun if my teacher was posting TikToks of our funny interactions and stuff. To me, that's better than just having a teacher who says, open your textbook and do whatever problems, then when they get a question, they're on the brink of crashing out because they hate their job already and don't care. But all of a sudden, it started changing from that type of content of them just talking to the kids in the class, to teachers showing off their outfits and what they wear to school. And from what I already showed y'all, that is like a majority of the outfits revealed. One of the teachers going viral for her outfits is known as Teacher Bay. If Bay in her name wasn't already a red flag, then I don't know what is. And she posts videos of her outfits on TikTok and Instagram in school. If you were to take the picture she posts and Photoshop a club behind her, you'd swear she was wearing clubbing outfits and going out with her friends. All of her outfits are either tight skirts or dresses with her wearing high heels. And you know this is somewhat intentional because teachers will tell you themselves just standing for that long gives them foot pain. Her constantly wearing high heels to her class is coming off to me as her trying to impress somebody in school. And I guarantee you, any woman out there can tell you that she is not comfortable wearing those all day. Unless she's just popping out those heels for photos and taking them off, I can't see any other reason than trying to impress someone. If she did that, I think it's even weirder because why are you doing photo shoots at school? She also has photos where she poses on a school bus. Even when I was in high school, I never did a pose next to her on the school bus. Because of this, people have been calling her out, obviously accusing her of being a PDF file and asking why she even dressing like this for middle school / high school. You even got teachers on TikTok who do teacher content calling her out.
If you didn't know, this is how you're supposed to dress as a teacher. Fully clothed, you can still be cute, you can be young and turned, you can be all of it, but you're appropriate. Everything's covered. Yes, I have my arms out because it's summer. Like, it's still very appropriate.
This got 3.8 million likes in 2 days, so yeah, it's not just like a small amount of people upset about it. And also, if you look at her outfit, she is not wearing cheap stuff. She got all types of designer bags and designer outfits. What people are rumoring because of this is that she's not only a teacher, but also, I don't know if I'll get demonetized for saying this, but let's just say a GTA Gentlemen's Club dancer. And I mean, if you look at the average teacher salary compared to what she be wearing, I'm not sure if a Chanel bag is exactly in that budget. Maybe she's just buying all the designer stuff and living out her car. We also got pics of her vacationing in places like Turks and Caicos, which notoriously, as we know, is a very cheap place to vacation at. All we know for sure is her students aren't her only fans. In my mind, that was a good joke. The other side of people defending her are saying people are just weird for seeing her outfits like that, and that instead of getting mad at her, saying maybe boys should be taught to respect women no matter what they wear. The thing to me though is if it was in public, no one would really be saying anything. Women dress like this all the time in public, which yeah, at that point her choices should be respected. Unless she was at like a Chuck E. Cheese with a lingerie outfit on, no one would care. It's a complete other thing being in a professional setting with literal minors dressing in a way that's meant to be sexual. I guarantee you could go in public and 99% of people, including women, are gonna say it's a more sexualized look. It's not like she's just wearing a skirt and dudes are trying to sneak their camera trying to take pictures of her under her skirt. Like, I don't think this person would be saying this if that was their daughter in a man's class and he's dressing in tight pants that got his bulge poking out with a muscle ripped shirt. She responded recently to all the people calling her out on TikTok, and it was interesting to say the least.
First of all, let's start here. Who even told y'all I had a BBL? Who told y'all that? Who told y'all that? Not saying it's true or not true, but I want to know who told you that. Because I got a BBL, I can't have a career. What if I just wanted some buns? Also, let's stop the PDF narrative. My children don't do that. They are very respectful young 10, 11-year-olds. They don't even look at me. And quite frankly, I'm not that nice of a teacher. I'm very mean, strict, and firm. You better come in that classroom to see.
Alright, so first off, no one cares if she has a BBL or not in general. The problem is when you're dressing in a way where it's meant to emphasize those parts. And she's saying her students don't look at her like she would know! Every dude knows growing up in class, if you wanted to take a look at your crush, you weren't sitting there, eyes wide open, staring clearly at them for 5 minutes. You would take little peeks here and there to not get caught. And these are developing boys going through puberty. Of course they're gonna think some type of sexual thoughts even just looking at you, even if they're not recording. It is strange to me that the school admin hasn't said anything about her outfits. I know if there was a teacher dressing like this in my school, they would immediately check her outfit and tell her to change or she's getting fired. And I didn't even go to a good middle school or high school. The crazy thing is, if she does get fired now, she'll probably just make an OF and make 10 extra salary in a month. Teacher Bay isn't the only one, by the way. There's a ton of teachers like her doing the same thing on TikTok. And before someone's like, well, Tommy, what about all the male teachers on TikTok? There is definitely some questionable ones with dudes too as well. Like this one where this guy's getting his hair braided by a bunch of his female students.
Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out.
So this science teacher live streamed his female students unbraiding his hair during school hours.
I don't know about y'all, but if my daughter came back from school talking about she was helping him braid a grown-ass man's hair who's her teacher, all types of alarm bells are going off. I'm going to school and socking him in the face. Maybe some dudes out there don't care as much if they trust a teacher, but I don't know about y'all, that is not happening with my daughter. For the male teacher outfits, it's mostly them trying to look stylish and like the younger generation. Like, I swear, I'm not being biased, y'all. I tried scrolling all through TikTok to try and find the outfits of the male equivalent of Teacher Bay, and I could not find it. If y'all have some creator that you know that's trying to do it, let me know, because I swear I'm not being biased, I just don't see it. Even comparing the searches, this is the first things that popped up when I searched up male teacher outfit on TikTok, and this is what popped up when I searched up female teacher outfit. This obviously isn't how a majority of female teachers dress, because they know what's right and wrong for the workplace. For some of these women TikTok teachers though, you can tell they're definitely doing it for attention on social media, and that's weird. I think the honest reason why it's less common to see dudes dressed like how some of these women teachers are on TikTok is, if we're being real, complete double standards. Even in society now, whenever some predator creep gets caught sleeping with one of his female students, you already know the reaction. The public is stoning him, he's getting like 10 news articles, then he ends up getting beat up Pope every day in prison. You're gonna see him on a Jadeon video getting clowned on. His life is completely over and cooked, which should be the reaction, by the way. This is what we need to do. Usually when it's a predator creep female teacher, they do get the same prison treatment and put on a list, but you always got people downplaying it, and of course those dudes like,
Man, I wish that was my teacher when I was 10. Why was he tripping?
like, no man, it should be treated the same way. Guarantee it, a lot of these dudes would not be saying this if that was like their 10-year-old son with the 40-year-old. And they only say it when the woman is objectively attractive in some type of way. They're not saying it for the chopped ass teachers. And how many cases do you think where it's a actually objectively pretty girl? Men aren't safe from criticism either in this, and because of years of this attitude, you got people like Teacher Bay now popping up. I've also noticed in these past couple of years an uptick in in actual female predator teacher cases, every day you see a new one pop up in a brand new school. And it's never taken serious once
If it's
again
a
because
dude, you'll
dudes
get
will
dapped
constantly
up.
downplay it. Even if you think you
girl,
wouldn't
it's
have
a
cared if
lawsuit.
something like that happened to you, which I guarantee it would change the way you look at sex and love differently. Do you know the amount of dudes who will permanently affect for the rest of their life and they're never the same? Or the amount of guys who end up taking their lives because of it? Like, not every teacher is Margot Robbie in a movie or something. There's also a bunch of these teachers who have been caught doing OnlyFans while teaching. It's so many cases, I could probably make a 1-hour video just covering them. One of them notoriously was caught doing the act in her 8th grade classroom. You can't tell me she's not doing it to satisfy some weird dude's fetish on her OF. Because in what world is that even a comfortable environment to do the deed? I can clarify it was with her husband and no students were around, but out of all places, your classroom?
I created content at the beginning of the summer in order to earn extra money.
Bro,
on the
why
side
does it have to be
for
the
our basic
school though?
necessities
Like, you have
that
a
our salaries
house.
were no longer meeting. I chose an anonymous name as well as blocking the entire state of Arizona on my
Baby, you got
OnlyFans
a house.
so that it wasn't accessible to anyone living in the state.
There's a lot of side hustles I could think of if you're a teacher and gotta make some extra income on the side. Uber, DoorDash. These teachers end up getting fired and have a surprise Pikachu face when it happens. And people will say that's unfair and they shouldn't for just doing another job. But that's what you sign up for when you do that line of work. All the OF stars and corn stars know this too. That's why they don't use their real names and have stage names. They also are at risk of getting doxxed and stuff. It's the risk that comes with the career. And there's certain jobs I probably can't get in the future, like a private government job or something, because I have too much of a public figure and public info out. And I'm not mad at it. Like, that's what I signed up for when I started doing this, and I love it, by the way. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually.
bro.
And until next time, I'm out.
Shit is weird, but let me know in the comments if you ever had a weird teacher. What was your experience? What happened? Yeah. Quick end of the video disclaimer. We are almost at 3.5 thousand subscribers, so if you would, please hit the subscribe button.